Number 5. SummerSlam. Alright, so now that we got into the top 8, all of these pay-per-views could really be put in place of each other because WWE did not do a good job with pay-per-views this year. I'm sorry, but if you don't like the order that I did, I mean, you can flip-flop them. It really does not matter because number 1 through 8 could be switched for each other, and then number 9 through 16 could be flipped for each other as well. I mean, it was just a whole bunch of who cares match, starting with Big Cass versus Big Show, Enzo in a cage. Who cares? SummerSlam. I'm starting to wonder if being number 5 really suit. We also had Randy Orton, John Cena, and Natalya winning over younger competition. Why? I guess Charlotte is not really like younger or anything, but like she's been like or Naomi. I mean, sorry, Naomi was a horrible champ. So I mean, taking the belt off of her. But then you have Natalya holding the belt. Come on, she's been there for ages. She's not gonna improve. Why give it to her? John Cena winning over Baron Corbin. If Baron Corbin would have had the Money in the Bank briefcase, I would have seen why he lost, because then it would have set up maybe something later with Jinder and Shinsuke. But he didn't have the briefcase. Why did you make Baron Corbin lose? This is when Baron Corbin's like booking really got weird. This is when he started losing and winning weird matches and losing matches that you thought he should have won. And also Randy Orton getting a quick pin on Rusev. This started Rusev Day, obviously like a couple months later. But why would you have Rusev just get squashed by Randy Orton? Moving us into Jinder Mahal beating Shinsuke Nakamura. Why? Why not just have John Cena beat Shinsuke on SmackDown and have Jinder beat Cena to make him bigger? You didn't do any good for either of the two. That was just a horrible match. Jinder Mahal as champ, just no thank you. Bray Wyatt versus Finn Balor. They shouldn't have done the match on Monday Night Raw the week before, or 2 weeks before, whatever it was. That just killed all the momentum for the Demon. Finn Balor coming to face Bray Wyatt. That would have been a lot better match. And they also should have given it more time. It was like 10 minutes. This is how you fix it. Don't have a match on Monday Night Raw a week before, and then give it 5 more minutes at SummerSlam. That would have been a lot better. This is probably why I gave it such a high rating, such a high spot on the list. Sasha Banks versus Alexa Bliss. Fine. I'm glad they didn't put Bayley in this match. I don't know what happened to her. I think she got injured. Sorry, I didn't mean to like. If she was injured, I'm not saying like I'm happy that she got injured. I'm just saying I'm glad it wasn't Bayley versus Alexa Bliss. And Sasha Banks winning again. You were like, oh, maybe they're gonna do something. The reunion of the Shield, at least Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins facing off against the Bar, and what was a good match. And they won the tag team titles. That was surprising to me, beating the Bar. The bad thing is though that set up the No Mercy pay-per-view match, the TLC pay-per-view match, the Survivor Series. Oh no, they didn't face each other in Survivor Series, but I'm pretty sure they had a match in November. And then they probably had a match in December, yeah, when like Seth Rollins and Jason Jordan faced off against the Bar. And then the match at the Royal Rumble with Seth Rollins, and then a match in February, I'm pretty sure, to get the rematch or something. The Bar versus Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose coming back, reuniting. It was a good moment, good match. AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens. It was a decent end to the feud with what they did, but again, I cannot remember what happened in this match. You guys probably can't either. That AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens feud, probably because it was for the US title, just like the Jericho match, or Jericho feud. Styles versus Kevin Owens was a good match at SummerSlam. And finally, the Fatal 4-Way for the Universal Championship. It was a good match. Dave Meltzer gave it 4.5 stars. I'm surprised about that. Samoa Joe didn't really do much, but Brock Lesnar winning was fine with me, seeing as they were going to do Braun Strowman versus Brock at the next pay-per-view. You're like, alright, Brock wins here at SummerSlam, Big 4 pay-per-view, why not? Anyone but Roman, of course. That match was good. I don't know if it deserves to be at this spot on the list. You guys tell me, let me know in the comments, what should I have put SummerSlam at? This is one of the pay-per-views that I was debating where I should put it. But let me know in the comments what you guys think. Number 4. Hell in a Cell. The triple threat match for the United States Championship was a good match. Ty Dillinger being added, I was glad to see that because There was like some stuff happening with Ty Dillinger on the weeks leading up to Hell in a Cell on SmackDown. So I'm glad they made it into a triple threat, but I'm not glad with the winner and the outcome. Baron Corbin beating Ty Dillinger, losing. I mean, it did get the belt off of AJ Styles, allowing him to go after the World Belt, the WWE belt. That's probably good. But I mean, the match wasn't bad, but I didn't really like Baron Corbin winning. But the match itself was good on this pay-per-view. Bobby Roode debuting, pretty awesome moment. But again, Dolph Ziggler versus NXT debut, I lost hope for those type of matches. They didn't deliver, but it was good for what it was. Once again, Orton versus Rusev in a who gives a match. This is Orton at his boringness, if that's even a word. If it's not, Randy Orton, you just invented the word boringness. That's how boring you are. Charlotte Flair, Natalya, no thanks. Like you probably have already known that I was going to say about this match. I don't want it. I don't know if you guys remember what happened in that match, because I don't. I probably fell asleep during it. And then we also had Jinder Mahal versus Nakamura. Nakamura losing again. We thought he was going to win it this time. Why give him a rematch if he was going to lose again? Made no sense. But I think this was the last pay-per-view that Jinder Mahal was as champ. So at least we have that to remember him by. You know, beating Nakamura when Nakamura eventually wins it at WrestleMania 33 or 34, we'll be like, oh, Jinder Mahal beat Shinsuke Nakamura. He deserves to be up there, right? No, he doesn't. This is why I gave it such a high rating on this list. Both Hell in a Cell matches were tremendous. The tag team match, we haven't seen a tag team Hell in a Cell match in a while. And all the weapons and shenanigans that the New Day did in the match against the Usos, and the Usos right back, it was pretty entertaining, and it was somewhat brutal too, so it kept up with the name of Hell in a Cell. I liked the tag match. And then obviously Shane McMahon versus Kevin Owens. I don't know why the fans are complaining about why was it a Falls Count Anywhere match. Why not? I know the point of a Hell in a Cell is to keep them inside, but when has that ever been true to anything? Why not just make it a Falls Count Anywhere match? Who cares? I wish you could do that in WWE 2K18, but they don't let you. So that was a thumbs up match from me. Great match. One of the best Hell in a Cell matches of the modern era, I would say. I can't remember. Probably Triple H versus Undertaker is the only Hell in a Cell match better than that. Top 5 in the modern era of Hell in a Cell matches. Shane McMahon versus Kevin Owens. I didn't like the ending because it looked sloppy. Sami Zayn didn't really pull Kevin Owens as much as Kevin Owens just kind of got up. The match itself is pretty good. I think Hell in a Cell deserves to be number 4 here on this list. Let me know in the comments. This is where we start to argue in the top 5. This is where it gets a little chippy between fans, but put them up and I'll square up with you, you know? But in the comments though. Number 3. Elimination Chamber. And Elimination Chamber, I mean, it had a decent mid-card and undercard of like the main event, obviously, but I wasn't sure where to put this, comparing it to the other 2 that are left on this list. I think Elimination Chamber was by far the best B pay-per-view, if you want to call it that. The one that was just SmackDown by itself, not the Big 4 or the Money in the Bank. I think Elimination Chamber was the best. Besides like Cruz and Kalisto versus Dolph Ziggler, I don't even remember that match happened. It was a handicap match. Why was Dolph Ziggler in a handicap match? I can't remember why. And then also Natalya versus Nikki Bella. They should have done the blow-off match there, like a no DQ Falls Count Anywhere match that they did eventually. They should have done it here at Elimination Chamber. Then we also had Becky Lynch versus Mickie James making her pay-per-view return to WWE, I believe. It was a good match for what it was. I mean, I thought it was decent. The tag team turmoil match. I love tag team turmoil matches, and especially for the tag titles, it wasn't just a random tag turmoil match for number 1 contendership. It was actually for the titles, so I'll give it a pass as well for that one. Randy Orton versus Luke Harper. A lot of people say it was a good match. I can't remember this match to save my life. I can't remember seeing it. I'm not saying it was good or bad. I just can't remember it. But people say it was good, and WWE has it as one of the best matches of 2017. So who can go wrong with WWE's critique? You know what I'm saying? I don't like Naomi, but her winning the championship was a surprise at Elimination Chamber. So that's another up for me. And then finally, obviously, brand new Elimination Chamber. The new look to it was debuted here, and it looked awesome. I liked it, except for the mats on the outside. That took away a little bit of the. A lot of people say like, all right, we see why they did it. So I'll agree with you two fans. For now, it was a good match overall. Baron Corbin in it really didn't do much. Instead of that match between him and Dean Ambrose at WrestleMania, it also set up John Cena versus The Miz, I think, in this chamber. And then it was down to AJ Styles versus Bray Wyatt, guaranteed a new WWE champion. This was when Bray Wyatt was still at his peak. So he won the championship. Great moment, great match, great finale to this pay-per-view. And I think it was one of the best non-dual branded pay-per-views of the year. Number 2, Royal Rumble. Alright, hear me out. This is why I think Rumble deserves to be this high up on the list. It is a Big 4 pay-per-view, so that gives it a little bit of points. The end of the Royal Rumble match itself was not that good. As a matter of fact, it was probably one of the worst ever. But 1 through 29, good storytelling. You can't say it wasn't. Now, a lot of people hate that everybody was just like in the corner and letting like the big guys, Brock Lesnar, Goldberg, Taker, Strowman, Corbin, just like demolish everybody else, while people just like stayed in the corner just hiding and stuff. And Chris Jericho, he should have won, or Bray Wyatt. I don't know why Bray Wyatt didn't win. Have Randy Orton win the Elimination Chamber and then have Bray Wyatt win at WrestleMania. That would have been a lot better. But no, you had to give it to one of your big name guys who has been there for a while, who doesn't really deserve to win another Royal Rumble, and Randy Orton. And you have him beat another guy that nobody likes, Roman Reigns, coming in at number 30. Alright, if he lost earlier in the match, why wasn't AJ Styles also in the match as well? He lost the championship earlier. Now I get it, he lost the championship instead of losing a championship match. But they should have done AJ Styles at number 30, Roman Reigns somewhere else in the match. They could have done a whole lot to not make the ending as shit as it was. But I thought the Royal Rumble match itself was good up until the last moments. Neville winning the Cruiserweight title, we saw it coming since ever since December of the previous year, 2016, at Roadblock when he came back. So Neville winning, I was fine with that. It seemed like he was going to WrestleMania as the Cruiserweight champion, so I was fine with that as well. Bayley versus Charlotte Flair. I mean, Bayley, why not? She lost again to Charlotte. I didn't like the match, but it was there. Why not? Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns had a decent, what was it, no holds barred match, no DQ match, whatever it was. I didn't watch it myself because I cannot stand Roman Reigns and I don't watch his matches. I saw highlights of it and the people were pumped for this match. Braun Strowman coming out and attacking Roman Reigns. It didn't make no sense at the time, and it didn't pay off in the Rumble with Reigns coming in and Strowman also was in it. So I don't know what was the point of any of that. John Cena versus AJ Styles, great match, best match of the year in my opinion, and probably a lot of your guys' opinion as well. And then along with Neville winning the Cruiserweight title, Charlotte versus Bayley was an alright match, and Kevin Owens versus Reigns, and then the Rumble 1 through 29 up until the end. The Royal Rumble was good, and I think that's why it deserves to be number 2. And obviously, you know what number 1 is going to be. Number 1, Wrestle Mania. Now, I will agree, this was not the best WrestleMania of all time, but you have to agree, WrestleMania was the best pay-per-view of 2017. Obviously, if you don't agree with me, please leave it in the comments. I would love to argue with you guys. And let me go ahead and explain to you why I feel WrestleMania 33 was the best pay-per-view of 2017. Let's start with the bad. Let's get that out of the way. And once again, this was like a 5 to 6 hour pay-per-view. So there was a lot more bad than in other pay-per-views, obviously because they were shorter. But I felt like the good really outweighed the bad. We start off with AJ Styles versus Shane McMahon, a match nobody wanted to see, but it was like 20 minutes. It was a good match, good pace, good, like AJ Styles does so well, taking Shane McMahon to a 7-star classic. Next, Kevin Owens versus Chris Jericho. It was a decent match, like I said earlier. I can't remember what happened in this match, but Kevin Owens versus Chris Jericho at the end, with him putting the pinky on the rope and stuff. A lot of good entertaining, a lot of good drama in that match. Kevin Owens winning the US title was also good, beating Chris Jericho after costing him the Universal title. It's a good end to the story. If they would have ended it there, I would have been fine with it. Both women's championship matches were underwhelming. Obviously, the SmackDown match, I didn't really expect much from it being like a six-pack challenge or whatever. I knew Naomi was going to win in her hometown. Not really had my hopes high for that match, but I did have my hopes high for the Fatal 4-Way elimination match between the women. Everything seemed rushed. This was a quick match. Nia Jax was out early, and then it was Sasha Banks, and then it was down to Charlotte and Bayley. Once again, who cares about Charlotte and Bayley? Nobody does. Bayley retained, and what should have been her first women's title win turned out to be just her retaining it. They really should have let her win it there in a more... I would have been fine if they did Nia Jax and Sasha Banks out early, then give Charlotte and Bayley a 10-minute spot just between them two, and then have Bayley come out on top and winning her first ever women's title match, or first ever women's championship. That would have been a lot better than her just retaining it in a letdown of a Fatal 4-Way elimination match at WrestleMania. The Miz versus John Cena and their wives. Cena proposing afterwards. Cheesy, but whatever. The build was good to this match. I was really excited to watch this match, even though I knew it was going to be shit. I can't remember because my network decided to bug out on me during this time, so I didn't get to watch Miz Cena live, and I didn't go back to watch it because I knew what to expect. I mean, the Miz is not really a good worker, but I really wanted to see what they were going to do because of the build that they had in the months leading to WrestleMania. So the build was more exciting than the match. Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt. I love the Elimination Chamber. I love that Bray Wyatt won, but this would have been a lot better if Bray Wyatt was the Rumble winner, Randy Orton won at the Chamber, and then they set up a feud. Bray Wyatt won the championship at WrestleMania. I would have even been fine with all the weird things that they did to the ring and stuff, but it was a weird match. Nobody seemed to get on board with it. Everybody was just whatever. And Randy Orton ended up winning the championship for the 20th time. Who cares? Randy Orton, go home. And then he lost to Jinder Mahal the next month. In the ladder match, the New Day come out. They're about to walk down the ramp. People thought they were going to be in the ladder match, but no. The Hardys came back at WrestleMania. Then they do a show, like an indie show earlier that day. So it was really low-key. Nobody knew. Well, probably some people knew, but for the most part, it was a legitimate surprise. The Hardys came back. Good ladder match. It was a short ladder match, but for what they did, it was pretty good. 2 thumbs up, and then a couple index fingers up as well. But you know what? 10 fingers up for that match. Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg. I could have done it without being for the Universal title, but I think the Universal title added to that match because I was on the edge of my seat hoping that Goldberg lost. Now, Goldberg had no business holding the Universal title late 2016, early 2017. There was just no bones about it. He shouldn't have had the title at all. I don't know why he was in the title picture. But Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg, 5-minute match, whatever it was entertaining throughout every single spot of it. You can disagree with me, but that match told a really good story. Brock Lesnar comes out on top, takes the belt off Goldberg. Good moment, good match, at least in my opinion. Goldberg going to spear him, he jumps over him. Jesus, I want to watch that match over and over again, 20 times. If like my death, my ceremony, my funeral, I just want that match to be looped over and over again. Let's get to the worst match of the night, and then we'll get to the best match of the night. Obviously, Undertaker versus Roman Reigns. I turned off as soon as the Women's Championship match, the SmackDown Women's Championship match was over. I turned off WWE Network. I turned off my TV. I probably even went to sleep, and it was like 10 o'clock where I live. I did not want to watch that match at all, and I turned off the TV. I didn't want to watch it. Taker, especially because it was Roman Reigns. If it was like Undertaker versus anybody else, I would have watched it. But Roman Reigns, I saw some highlights. Roman Reigns couldn't get Undertaker flipped for the tombstone reversal. and then the end with him just running the ropes like 20 times for no reason. They brought back Jim Ross to try to add something to the match, but I don't think that helped at all. Sorry, JR. And yeah, that match was the worst match by far. And then the best match of the night, besides that Braun Goldberg match, I won't give it to them because it was a 5-minute match, but that was the most entertaining match. The best match of the night, Triple H versus Seth Rollins. It was months of build. I get that they built that so slow though. They built it in like September, and they went all the way to like January is when they really started like building to it at WrestleMania. But it was a good build. Stephanie going through a table, I'll see that any day of the week. And then the ending was also good. Seth Rollins comes out on top. That should have rocketed him to the Universal Championship or to something better, but it didn't. That's the only downfall of that. But I think that was the best match of the night. And I think WrestleMania 33 was the best pay-per-view of 2017, and that's why I think it was. Please let me know in the comments if you think I'm right. Alright, so that was my list ranking the 16 pay-per-views of 2017 from worst to best, if you want to call it that. I think it was from worst to not as bad, in my opinion. But again, this is all my opinion. Let me know in the comments if you guys would like to see me do more of these WWE lists, ranking things from worst to best in videos to come. But until then, thanks for watching. Give the video a thumbs up, comment down below, and subscribe, and follow us on Twitter at WG2AMING. Link will be in the description. Hope you guys enjoyed. See y'all next time.